Hey everyone, welcome to episode 30 of the Fiberista Files. Today is Sunday, April 3rd, 2011. I remembered today. Had to think about it though. Alright, I've had a busy week. Let me find my notes before we begin actually. Here they are. Okay, let's get started. It's been a busy week for me in the dye pots. Friday we had a spring snowstorm, also known as a nor'easter, also known as Armageddon, it seemed like, for a little while. We got probably 15 inches of snow on Friday during the day. I opted not to go to school. I was not feeling well anyway, so I decided that it was just not a good idea to take my illness and my very ugly temperament when I'm driving on bad roads and go to school with it. So I stayed home, and since I was home and not working at my day job, I decided, well, I might as well get busy in the dye pots. So just on Friday, I had kind of an epic dye day. So I wanted to get those done now and tell you all about those and get them out of the way. So if that's what people are here looking for, then they can see that and they can move on and not watch the rest of that if they so choose. All right, one of the fibers that I've been dyeing this week has been, let's see if I can find a good spot to show you, has been mixed BFL silk. And I don't know if you can see that this is not an ecru fiber. It's not this off-white color. The mixed BFL silk is actually an oatmeal color. It's 75% ecru BFL mixed with 25% oatmeal or gray BFL, and then blue face Leicester. And then they also blended this particular mix with 25% silk. So it's 75% mixed. So it's 50% ecru, 25% oatmeal or gray BFL wool, and then 25% silk. I love it. I love it so much. They did my supplier did a limited run of this because what had happened was that the place that mixes the two colors of the BFL messed up and overblended it. So rather than refuse it, they took it and mixed it with some silk on their own, and then they sold it that way. So hey, it was cheap, it was beautiful. What's not to love? I need to list some undyed in the shop, I think, because it's gorgeous, just totally undyed and all by itself. But that was the first fiber I dealt with. This is called Rock Garden. This is the mixed BFL silk in a foresty green, a dark green, a maroony red, and this lovely sort of Wedgwood blue, country blue. And I did that just randomly, dyed it out, and just splotches all over, so it's not something that you could do mathematically and split and get like stripes or anything like that. It's just sort of random, but it's so pretty. I love it. My husband tells me it's not colored like a rock garden, but he's thinking of like a garden of rocks, and I'm thinking that it's a garden with rocks in it, so I vote that my version wins. I also did a similar colorway, but it's in a different fiber, so I'll get to that in a minute. Focus, camera. It's not going to. This is called Tiger Lily, and this is this is a bit of a departure for me because yellow, orange, and purple are really not colors that I put together ever, because I personally would not. I just wouldn't do it. It's not. I've done green and brown, green and gray, blue and brown, blue and gray, and blue and green about to death, because those are the colors that I naturally gravitate towards. What happened with this was I got new dyes, and I did this red and the blue are both new dyes as well, so I knew red and blue always goes together, excuse me. So I dyed those up, but I had these 3 dyes left over, and I said, well, I really ought to try them and at least figure out what they look like. So in order to break me out of my normal coloring pattern, I said, well, why don't I just do it all in this fiber? I actually really like this. I think it looks fantastic. I think it would make a very happy yarn. I think it would barber pole maybe if you applied it just right. I love it. I have several of these. This is again in the mixed BFL silk. Let's see, so I have that and that. I also have, I've started to dye up the superwash BFL that I have. By far, I have more superwash BFL than anything. I probably have 30 pounds of superwash BFL in my dye closet. I've had a lot of fun lately playing with other fibers, especially non-superwash fibers. I think I got a little burnt out on superwash last year because I did so much of it. So it's been just kind of sitting there chilling out in my dye cabinet waiting for me to get to it. And so I did finally reach for it this weekend. And this is that same red and blue but without the green. And this is in superwash BFL. This is called Federal, again, because it's red and blue, and it has the creamy ecru undyed sections. So, and I did allow the dyes to blend a little bit. So you'll see there are areas that the blue and red are really close together, and they kind of, you know, merge and whatnot. There's a little bit of like steely gray in here, and the blue broke a little bit into little teeny pops of green, but not a lot. It's mostly red and blue in this undyed section. The red particularly seems to bleed a little bit during the dyeing process. So I'm probably talking too fast again. I tend to do that. Rock Garden in the mixed BFL silk. Tiger Lily in the mixed BFL silk. Federal in the superwash BFL. And then I have a couple different colorways in just regular BFL. Let me see where the other one is. The first one I did, you may have seen this. I have not watched it yet, but I'm told that Stephen of the Dramatic Knits podcast received his spindle kits from me the other day. I don't know if it made it onto the podcast or not, but he did get this colorway. This colorway is called Maritime. It is an interesting sort of myrtle-y sea green, and then I just literally, it's mostly green, and then I take the gray, it's got this dark gray on it, and I squirt it over the green. Usually when I dye, I don't put one color on top of the other because I'm trying to keep the colors separate. For Maritime, I put the gray right on top of that, and it darkens the gray and really adds another dimension to the dye. So that is Maritime. I have two more braids of that. They're both in spindle kits. I've had a big response to the spindle kits, and I'm going to keep doing them as long as I can. I'm going to run out of spindles here soon. This is the last of my plain BFL. I don't have any more until, I don't know actually, because I ordered, I know I ordered Corriedale in this order that I'm getting next, but I don't know if I ordered BFL. That's a really tricky one. I'll have to look and see. This is one spindle kit. This is with a maple spindle that weighs 1.62 ounces. I'm all out of the really thick spindles, so these are all, according to our weights, the medium weight spindle. In a lot of places, a 1.5 ounce spindle is considered to be a heavyweight, but not here. And this is another one as well, the Maritime, with a 1.55 ounce maple spindle. How much was that first one? I don't know. These will all be listed in the shop. This is 1.62 ounce. This is 1.55 ounce. And then the last colorway I did was, again, I did a lot of green this week. I was dyeing up a couple custom orders, and I hate to waste dye, so I tend to do variations on a theme, where I'll use the same green or the same gray because I had the extra, and then I'll add different colors. This one is called Our Maine Coast. It's trees, ocean, rocks, which is what we have on our coast. We don't have nice warm sandy beaches. We have water, trees, and rocks. So this is called Our Maine Coast. I really like this one a lot, actually. I wasn't so sure about it when it was in the dye pots, but I need to freaking learn about the dye pots, because nothing that you see when you do it looks at all like it's gonna when it's dry. And I just need to know that. Like, as I dye, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work out. And then once it's all dried and either braided or reskeined, I'm like, oh, duh, I should have known that. So this is with a maple spindle that's 1.55 ounces, same as one of the other ones. And then this one is actually reserved. Somebody contacted me and told me that they wanted a spindle, and we went back and forth a little bit on the kits, and she finally decided on this one. This one has, it's Our Maine Coast with a bird's eye spindle, which is, this is actually technically a lightweight, but it's got a bigger shaft, so it's 1.5 ounces, so it's 1.5 ounces. And it's the same Our Maine Coast colorway. So this one's reserved, but I'll have 3 more spindle kits in the shop on Monday. If you want one, And the shop update's going to happen at 6 o'clock on Monday. Last week I did it at 7 o'clock, and I was up until almost 11 p.m. packing orders, which, don't get me wrong, I love. I will gladly stay up late to get those orders out to you the very, minute that I can. However, if I back it up an hour and make it a little bit earlier, I think it'll be easier on me for sure. So 6 p.m. Eastern time is when the spindle kits and all of this shop update is going to happen. I've already photographed everything. I just have to list it. I am also going to list some single spindles, I think. I was hoping to have 8 more done this week, but somebody who shall remain nameless did not sand them yet. You do a round of a coat of varnish, and then they get sanded, and then another coat of varnish, and they get sanded, and then another coat of varnish, and depending on how smooth that is, either that one stays or we do the sanding and varnishing process again. So there's 3 or 4 coats of varnish on every spindle, and it's kind of a time-consuming process, even though it's quick dry varnish, mostly because neither one of us wants to do the sanding because it's not fun. So I've also dyed, oh yeah, I got 2 things of Superwash Merino Tencel dyed. Again, in the Lost colorway. The Lost colorway is the colorway that I showed you in a spindle kit a couple weeks ago. It looks a lot like the green in Maritime. It's not actually the same green. It's just the way that the dyes took. No idea. I have 2 braids of this. Oh, there's my husband and the dog. Hopefully he brought me something chocolate. Did you bring me something chocolate? Yeah? What'd you bring me? Milky Way Midnight. Excellent. I love him. Hi, doggy. Okay, so this is the, I'm not going to take this all out. This is the Superwash Merino Tencel in the colorway Lost. You can see that it has an amazing amount of sheen on it. This fiber has been in the shop pretty much right from the beginning, although usually it's in either the Poetic colorway or more recently the Thor's Hammer colorway. I keep these in bags instead of in braids to protect them. The fibers are so parallel in their alignment that they come apart really easily, and I don't want them to get damaged, especially in shipping. So I do keep these in bags like I keep the silk, just to protect it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's pretty delicious fiber-wise. Okay, yarn. I was out of sock yarn, so I haven't dyed any sock yarn this week, but I did have half a cone left of the lace weight yarn that I hadn't dyed. I dyed several. I did the lady slipper, I think I showed you last week. I did that custom colorway for Patty. She loved it, by the way. I will have pictures of that hopefully in the show notes. It's that real pale lilac color. I know there were other ones. I redid Moss, and there was another one, but I don't remember what it was. So anyways, I had half a cone left, and normally I factor that half a cone is 6 skeins. However, I forgot that I do 100 gram skeins instead of 4 ounce skeins, and when you save that many grams per skein, you end up with a bonus 7th, or 13th, I should say it is, 13th skein of lace weight. So, I'd had a friend who missed the shop update because she hadn't gotten paid yet, and I know it's around here somewhere. Do you have any idea where that lace weight is? No, the lady, oh, I bagged it. I'm so organized and on top of things. I'd had that bonus 7th skein, and so my friend Lori, she's awesome, she was bummed that she'd missed it, and since I had a bonus skein, I said, well, let me do it up for you. So I did redo a lady slipper. This is the light pink and dark pink. It's tonal. It's not really variegated because they're both pink, but they're 2 different dyes, so it's not really semi-solid either. So I did that for her. That's going out tomorrow. And then I also dyed, I've had a lot of custom orders lately, and as long as I can do the custom orders, I'm gonna keep trying, because although there's a bit of a risk there, like with Patty, I wasn't sure if she was gonna like the yarn or not. It definitely bumps me out of my comfort zone a little bit and challenges me to do something I would normally do, and I love that challenge. I love being handed something and asked, can you do this? And then seeing if I can. It's really fun. So my friend Tina emailed me, and Tina, Knitter Freak on Plurk, she orders from me kind of a lot. But that's why we love her so dearly. She has a skein of my of the sugar maple sock yarn and the Dionysus colorway, which is dark green, navy blue, plum, and like a lavender. And she said, I really love the dark colors in Dionysus. Can you dye me up some lace weight? And I said, sure, Tina, I'll try, and then promptly forgot all about it. So 2 weeks later, she was like, do you have any, are you going to be dyeing up any darker lace weights? Because I would love to try some. And then I was like, oh, Tina, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. So hers was the first of the lace weight that I did on Friday. And this is Dionysus. I did not put the lavender in, but I did do all the darker colors. It's hard to see in this light, probably, but these are fan-freaking-tastic. They are all of the dark maroons, greens, blues. The colors did bleed a little bit on the underside of the fiber. So it also has this sort of cool grapey purple too that I didn't use in the dye because the plum is actually kind of a redder color, this red here, and then the green and the navy blue. And the navy blue does have a little bit of purple in it, but there are a couple light areas where, you know, it the strings were when I dyed it so that they didn't get quite as saturated, but I think they'll add interest. And I think that the true, of course you can't, I'm not sitting in sunshine right now, but the true, I mean the colors in this really come out in the sun. It's so pretty. I just love this colorway. And I would never have tried it on my own. It's a variegated. People told me they didn't want variegated lace, and I listened. It does almost seem tonal. The colors they are close to each other. They go very well together. But these two skeins are Tina's. If you want some, you want me to try it again, let me know. I will probably be dyeing this colorway again, although I kind of like the idea of saving it special just for Tina. We'll see. But this is Dionysus in the lace. And then I had another person say, hey, I want to knit a shipwreck shawl. And I really liked your Lost colorway. And P.S. I really love the idea of shipwreck and Lost, as in Lost at Sea, together. Can you do it? And I was like, that is the best idea ever. Of course I can. So, this is Lost, and she hasn't seen this yet. She's going to see it. I'm going to email her as soon as I'm done here and message her. Hopefully she likes them. This is Lost. It's really less obviously variegated than the fiber was, but I think that it works here. They're very subtle gradations between the silvery gray and the green. It looks to me like the ocean right before a hurricane. Now, I may live in the Highlands, but I'm not from here, so I have seen the ocean right before a hurricane. And it's green. It's green. I don't know why it's green, but it's green. So, hopefully this will become a fantastic shipwreck shawl, and we'll be able to all ogle it, because I love it. I love it. I had a very successful week this week. I did another one, and this one started out that I wasn't terribly pleased with it. I need to learn that until you reskein something, you can't judge. I was going for a very light silvery gray, kind of like the gray of my sweatshirt, a very pale silver, and I knew better than to use a full-strength gray dye. I have 3 different gray dyes, and I knew better than to use a full-strength, but I did anyway because I wasn't thinking. And it came out, gray is a combination of a lot of different colors, and the dye did break a little bit. There's little hints almost of sort of purples and silvers and browns. There's like, I don't know, it's like a million colors in this. Wasn't very pleased with how blotchy it was. However, I said, before I do this, I'm gonna reskein it. I'm gonna just see. At least it will look better to other people, and it will look more realistic to how it will knit up, because reskeining realigns those fibers, because you're not going to get a big block of color in a shawl. This is Granite, and I gotta tell you, I love this colorway. It's so pretty. I actually really like the variations in the gray. It's more of a color change than most of the lace I've done. So I don't want to say it's variegated because it's not. It's all gray. This one is actually probably the only colorway that I did as a true semi-solid, because I only used the one color of the dye. But I actually really like this. I call it Granite because of all of those other hints of color. It makes me think of the granite here in Maine. Lucerne granite, as far as I understand it, which is towards our coast, towards Acadia National Park, Lucerne granite is the only granite that naturally has pink in it. It has pink, I think they're called halosites. It's been a long time since I took geometry in college. Not geometry, geology. Oh my word. been a long time since I took geology in college. It's been, you can tell. But I believe they're called halocites, and they're little, like, pink halos in the granite. So this is granite. I really like this. I think it would look fantastic with crystal beads on it, like a beaded shawl. I don't know, you tell me what you think. I love this. My husband looked at it and he's like, ooh, I really like that. You can make me something out of that. And I kind of looked at it and went, lace? Really? What do you want me to make you out of lace? And he's like, oh, I don't know. So, oh, the poor guy. He's not getting a lace shawl, that's for sure. But he does like the colorway, so I'm not knitting you socks. I love you.
I can't get one pair.
I know. I've been knitting him the same pair of socks for almost 2 years now. I'm not even at the heel yet, and they're toe up. In my defense, they're freaking enormous, and I should totally be given a buy on that. Okay. While I'm talking about reskeining rules, one of the other rules of reskeining is don't reskein it until you've twisted it up in the hank and you can see if you like it. Empress is one of those colorways that I like better unreskeined because I like the clear shifting from the lime green to the soft green to the purple. Last week, I think I showed you Holiday. Now, Holiday was that bright blue and orange, and I had reskeined it because it didn't look so hot loose. I just hanged this one up to get it out of my way, and look how awesome that looks. Doesn't it look fantastic? I love this colorway so much more seeing it like this than I did when it was reskeined. I'm sad now that I reskeined that other one, those other ones, because I think it looks better this way. I did photograph this one. This one will be going in the pictures. I can edit the pictures on Etsy anytime I want, so I'm going to do that because I think it looks better here. While the reskeining photos is probably more realistic to how it will knit up, if you're going to just sit it on your shelf for a while, why not have it be as pretty as possible? So this one is actually already for sale in the shop. I just haven't, you know, the pictures of it reskeined, and I was going to reskein this one before I sold it, but then I did twisted it up and decided that I liked it better my way. So that one is Holiday in the sock yarn. I did not dye it this week, but I did actually decide I liked it this week. I'm trying to look through my big giant bin and see if this is everything that I had to show you guys. I think it is. I'm all out of lace weight. I'm all out of BFL. I'm all out of superwash merino tencel. I think as far as fiber goes, I'm out of everything except for superwash BFL. Thankfully, I did put a fiber order in last week on Tuesday in the afternoon, I think. So if I'm very lucky, that will come to me by Wednesday so I can dye up some more things to show you next week. I'm only through dyepots. Oh, this is going to be a long episode. Let's see. Actually, I've talked about some of this. I talked about hating to waste dyes, and that's how all of these colorways that used all the green, they were kind of variations because they kept trying to use up the dye and then moving on, and way leads on to way. Oh, I did have somebody the other day complaining, I don't remember if it was on Plurk or on Ravelry or where it was, that they were getting a lot of spam comments in their WordPress blog. Like, they just had to go in and delete spam comments all the time. And I thought, since I know about that, because I've dealt with it myself, I ought to, you know, give you a little tip. There's a add-on, a widget that you can put on your WordPress site called Akismet. A-K-I-S-M-E-T. Akismet is a pop-up, not a pop-up, a spam comment blocker, and it works fantastic. However, when you go to the Akismet site to get the product key, the API, no, it's the API key. Yeah, it's an API key. When go to the Akismet and it says right there, get your API key, blah, blah, blah. And then over on the other side it says, what is Akismet worth to you? And there's like a dollar number there. And it looks like you have to pay to get the code. You really don't have to. All you have to do is slide that little bar down to 0. And they have a little sad face there because they're sad that you're not going to give them any money, but they'll still give you the code. You take the code, you pop it in your blog. Once you get that Akismet thing installed, just like that, you have no more spam comments. If that was confusing, it's possible. I will leave a short little how-to underneath in the show notes. It's actually quite simple once you get through it. If you don't have a WordPress blog, if you have a Blogspot blog, can't really help you. I don't know if they have one or not, although I think just naturally in their software they have a pretty good spam blocker. I've never had issues. I do have Blogspot blog, so on one of my other blogs. So that's the tip for the week. I sent out my first newsletter for Highland Handmaids this week. I'm hoping to do a monthly newsletter where I can say this is what's going on this month, this is where I'll be, this is, you know, what we're doing. Going forward, I'd like to have coupon codes or discount days or information that newsletter people have access to that other people don't. I am known for giving my Plurk people the first dibs on stuff just because that's where I go to show off what I've done, to say, hey, look what just came out of the dyepots. And because there's a lot of people that really like to be enabled despite what they say. Aaron, I'm looking at you. But I would like to do a more formal system with a newsletter. So newsletter people already know that there are kits going up tomorrow night, and they know a lot of the stuff that's going on. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, you can do it at the main blog site, highlandhandmaids.com, and click over on the side. There's a thing that says sign up for the newsletter or email newsletter, something like that, and it just says to type your email. Once you type your email address in and click sign up, you will get a confirmation email from, looks like it's from me, it's from Mad Mimi, which is the site that I used from the newsletter. You have to click the link in the email. If you don't, it will remain unconfirmed and you won't get the newsletters. I have 5 people who need to confirm their accounts. You have to look sometimes. Depending on your email server, the confirmation emails may go into your junk folder or your spam folder. Big Mo, Eris, Squeegee, Audrea, and Judy. Those email addresses, that's the start of them anyway. You're on my list is unconfirmed. So either check your junk folder to see if it's in there or go ahead and sign up again. And if you haven't gotten the email confirmation in about a minute, check your junk folder or your spam folder because it's probably there. Let's see. Processes, dyepots, growth. I did get some new stuff this week, not fiber related specifically, but business related. I went through a new bag company. I have used Bags Unlimited before and been pleased with them, but through the glory of Google and everything else, I found this site called Associated Bag Company. This is their box here. Associated Bag Company, associatedbag.com. They have some really great stuff, and one of the things that they have that I really like, I was looking for bags for shows, because usually when people buy fiber from me, I reuse bags because I like to reuse things, especially plastic. So people were walking out of my booth with Walmart bags and Hanford bags and Target bags, and it just didn't look very professional. So, and I know that there are people out there that have issues with Walmart, so I didn't want to put anybody in a bad spot. So I have these bags now. It says thank you, have a nice day, with a big fat smiley face on the front. While these don't say Highland Handmaids, I doubt very much that other people have them at shows, and I freaking love them. So I got 1,000 of these. I don't remember how much they were, but they were reasonably inexpensive. I also got envelopes for shipping. I did not want to go the envelope route for quite a while because I do worry that fiber and yarn will get damaged. But I've heard good reviews of bags of this type. They're that really hard to tear plastic. I mean, you can put your fingernail and push and it just nothing happens. This is a 10 by 13 size bag with the sealable flap. I do still tape this down. Once I pull this little strip off and seal it, I then put some tape over it. This is so much lighter than a bag to ship. Than a box, rather, to ship. I can send a single skein of yarn, and the total shipping weight is something like 5 ounces versus 8 ounces in a box. And that doesn't sound like a big difference, but the cost in shipping is significant. So I'm losing a lot less money now on shipping. I'm still having to use boxes for the big stuff, but for little things, I can fit up to 3 skeins of yarn in this one envelope, which is awesome. The only downside to these bags, aside from that they attract static and thus dog hair, these little tabs are plastic. These little things are the same plastic, and they come off. And they are also staticky, and I thought I threw it in the garbage the other day, but it ended up on the floor, and my cat ate it. Because that's what my cat does. He eats plastic. He seems fine. We're keeping an eye on him and hoping that we find a little strap again. But if you also have animals that eat things, you might want to just be aware that that doesn't always make it into the garbage, and it's apparently quite appealing. These bags do have a little bit of a scent, which is one of the reasons that my yarn comes in this separate bag, because it smells like sweet. Like it smells sugary, and I'm not really sure why that is. I didn't buy scented bags. It must just be the material that's used. And I don't want your fiber to smell like that, so I put it in the bag first, tie it up, and then put it in here. It's not a bad smell. It's just kind of odd. So I bought those as well. They do have a catalog, and I really recommend, if you go to the site, you can request a catalog. Request the catalog, because the site is a pain in the butt to navigate. You have these, like, it's got like one of those digital catalogs, and you have to turn the page and stuff, but they have like too far away to read anything and super close-up zoom, and they don't have anything in between. So it's really, really hard to search your way around. But this is their catalog, the Associated Bag Company. They also will send you the really cool thing that I like. Like, I mean, obviously, they have, like, everything from shrink wrap to bags to, I don't know, all kinds of cool stuff. More stuff than I would ever need, probably. But in addition to the catalog and all the other stuff, they'll send you a free sample of something. So if you're looking, like I am, for bags to put fiber in, I want, you can see how cramped this is. I need a bigger bag than this. This is a comic book bag that I got from Bags Unlimited. And it's just too small, really. I think I got the wrong size. I don't know. So I was looking for more bags. You have to buy them in boxes of 1,000. And I didn't want to spend 1,000, buy 1,000 bags worth if it was going to be the wrong thing. So I looked, and one of the things they had was 1.5 millimeter thick plastic in a bunch of sizes. I chose the 9x9 size to see how I'd like it. This is the 9x9 plastic bag. This, not going to cut the bill for me, because there's no way to fold it over securely. I need apparently something that's rectangular, that's taller than it is wide. Good to know, because I almost bought 1,000 of these. They do ship separately. Don't know why they ship separately. That came to me UPS. These came to me UPS. I got the catalog and the little plastic sample. I don't know. But definitely, very few places I have seen will give you this free sample option. Get the free sample. It's totally worth it. I don't know how many free samples they'll send you when they make you buy something. I don't know. But anyways, so that's the Associated Bag Company. I think they're just associatedbag.com. Let's see. Anything else? No, that's pretty much it. I will say that I have been getting a lot of more emails and Plurk messages, Ravelry messages, emails, things like that. Etsy conversations of people both asking, you know, can you do this for me custom order wise, as well as, hey, I watch your podcast, I really like it, keep it up. Thank you for that. I know I thanked you last week. I probably thanked you the week before. I'm going to keep thanking you because it really does mean that much to me. I love hearing, especially if people have ordered from me and they've received their stuff. Thank you for letting me know. I have delivery confirmation. I put it on all my packages. I know if the stuff says it's delivered, but I don't actually know if it gets in your hands. And if it gets into your hands, I don't always know what you think about it. So definitely awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for letting me know that you're getting your stuff and you're loving it. I really appreciate it. Next week is going to be the last update, shop update I do before Acadia Fiber Fair. I think. There might be a little one squeaky in there. There might be two. It'll depend on how I'm doing fiber-wise. There might be two. It's either going to be... Anyways, very soon there won't be any more updates for a little while because I have to build inventory for the Acadia Fiber Fair. So definitely watch the podcast here. You can add me on Plurk. I'm Boutros Babe, B-O-U-T-R-O-S-B-A-B-E on Plurk and Ravelry. The Highland Handmaids Ravelry group does have some activity in it. I will try to post updates, at least let you guys know when I'm doing an update, so that you can go ahead and score some stuff. Add the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. You can do that on highlandhandmaids.com. I will also link the web form for you in the show notes, so you can just click on sign up for the newsletter and join that way. Don't forget the confirmation email. I think that's about it this week. I'm sorry if this is a long episode. Now that I don't have the time limit on YouTube, I just kind of blather on until I run out of stuff to say. So I guess I'll end here, guys. Until next week, happy spinning and knitting, and thanks for tuning in.